The Tesla Model 3 is the most talked about car of 2019, and with the introduction of the Standard Range and Standard Range Plus, it is sure to become a staple in the industry. Is the car worth the starting price of $37,500 or the $39,500? Let's get into that. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Anthony, and this is my Tesla Model 3. This is the Standard Range Plus in solid black with the 18-inch aero wheels. I added Autopilot to the car right after I ordered it, which brought the price up to $40,000, which is $500 more than what you can buy it for today. Do I regret getting it a month ago for $500 less? Well, no, because even at $40,000, this is an absolute steal for a car of this caliber. When I first ordered the car, I decided on the Standard Range Plus because it was the cheapest option to get with the vegan leather seats as well as the power adjustable seats. The extra 20 miles of range was a bonus as well. To me, the Standard Range didn't seem worth it because of the standard interior, which was just a boring cloth-based interior, and no heated seats. Now, the Standard Range is just a software-limited Standard Range Plus. The only difference between the two is that the Standard Range gets 220 miles, which is a software-limited battery of the Standard Range Plus, which is 240 miles. Another downgrade from the Standard Range Plus would have to be the loss of the two speakers. This, however, isn't that big of a deal. Now, comparisons aside, what do I think of the Standard Range Plus after a month? I can safely say that it is truly the greatest car that I've ever owned, and it is not one bit less astonishing as the day I picked it up. I plan on having this car for about 10 years, and during this time I am more than certain I'll never get bored of it. So far, I've put about 1,400 miles on the car just after the month of using it, and I plan on doing a road trip to California later next month. I'm not really worried about the car breaking down or parts malfunctioning on it because Tesla gives you a 4-year or 48,000 mile warranty on the parts, as well as a 8-year or 120,000 mile powertrain and battery warranty. So if anything ever happens with the battery, you'll have 8 years to fix it or 120,000 miles, whichever one comes first. So I can safely say that I'm sure that my car will be well protected for a long time. I'm also not worried about any kind of rock damage to this car because I have actually gotten a ceramic coating done to it. I will say if you are planning to pick up a black one just like this, I highly recommend that you schedule a ceramic coating the same day or the next day after you pick up the car, because you want to make sure it's as pristine as possible, because the black paint is it's a scratch magnet as well as a fingerprint magnet. So you want to make sure that no damage is done to the car. Again, I'm just reiterating this because it's very important. Get a ceramic coating because the black is seriously the greatest color in the entire lineup, and you want to keep it as pristine as possible. So exteriors of the car aside, I'm going to show you the interior of the car. The very first thing I want to do though is show you how you actually get into the car. Now, as you can see, these handles are a little bit unusual for a car. Now, if you know about Teslas, then you should know how to use these doors, but if you don't, they're very comparable to suicide doors. So what you do is you actually push in on this large part here, so you push it out like that, and as you can see, the door unlocks and the windows come out, and you just pull on it. So, very easy. And then if you want to come over, I can show you how you actually get out, so I can just do that right now. Right here, if you are in the car and you're sitting down, you're ready to get out of the car, all you do is press this top button, press that unlatches the door, and you're able to just push the door open. So let me show you the inside of the car. So I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering also about the trunk size. Sorry I didn't get into this at the location I was at previously, I forgot about it. But as you can see, this is a pretty nicely sized trunk. It's not the biggest, but it's also not the smallest. Now this is about 14 cubic feet. And what you can do with that is it looks like you can put in 2 full-size luggages and a carry-on, or maybe 4 carry-ons, but there's also a hidden compartment down here, so you can actually bring out an entire another carry-on. So as we can see, for reference, this is a official Tesla luggage, and it fits right into here, kind of like a block. It fits in perfectly. So trunk space is definitely I'd say a B on a grade scale. So the very first thing you notice about this car is the amazing touchscreen, which looks pretty much like an iPad. Whenever I've had anyone in this car, they always ask me if it's just an iPad mounted on the car, and I have to explain, no, it's actually the main control unit. Now, let me show you how that works. So you have some options down here. You have the quick options, you have the options to enable music, you have your app drawer, which has your calendar, your energy usage, your rear view camera, your charging, and your phone button. The next one you have is your heated seats. So you're actually able to control what, like, you know, which seat you want heated. Unfortunately, you cannot control the rear seats because this isn't the premium model, this is the partial premium, so you only get control of the front 2 seats. The next thing I want to show you is actually the way you control the AC. So what you do is, this is how you control the fan, so you can make it, you know, louder if you want. Well, not louder, but more powerful, and in turn it gets louder. Or you can have it, you know, on low. And you control the entire airflow with the touchscreen. So if you want if you want it to be omnidirectional, you can do that. Or if you want it to go into one direction, you can do that too. You can do that with the other one as well. Now the very next thing I want to show you is the defrosters. You have 2 different defrosters, one for the front of the car and one for the back of the car. And then finally, the last one on the drop-down menu is the volume rocker, which will let you, choose what volume you want to be at. So let's go into the quick controls. So the very first thing in the quick controls you can see is you have exterior lights. You can put those on auto if you want. You have the front fog lights, the mirrors. You can control the mirrors if you want, and the steering wheel, as well as, locking the windows. You also can control your brightness of the control unit. The next thing is the lights, which is, again, just like light controls, which, all work great. You can pick the headlights, what you want to do with them, the front fog lights, the dome lights, everything like that. You can also, pick what you want for the keys for the car, and that's in the lock menu. So if you want to add a key, you can if you want to add one of the keys, which is actually just a card, you can do that through here, or you can add your phone through here. That works as well. The next one is the display setting, so you can pick what display mode you want your car in. Like, you can have it in night mode or in day mode, whichever, doesn't really matter, or you can have it on auto and it'll automatically change when sunset happens. The next thing is the driving mode, which you have 2 options for acceleration, which is the chill mode and the standard mode. Chill mode is more like your traditional car, where you go 0 to 60 in about 9 seconds. So it's pretty slow, but it's what the majority of people are comfortable with. Standard mode, you can go 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, which is pretty fast. Not the fastest Tesla, but definitely a fast Tesla regardless. You can also control the regenerative braking, which means you can put it at standard or in low. So what this means is, like, when you're driving the car, once you take your foot off the pedal, the actual motors will start getting energy back through the traction, and thus you'll be braking instead of actually pressing the brake button. Now, if you have it in standard, that means that you'll feel it more. If you have it on low, then it'll feel more like a traditional car. You also have creep mode, which means that if you have your car in drive and you let your foot off the brake, it'll act like a traditional car in a sense where it'll actually start accelerating at like 2 or 3 miles an hour. Slip start is also useful for helping you get free when you're stuck in snow, sand, or mud. So it would be helpful for me because I live in Florida. I'm near a beach, and if I get, my tires get in sand, I'll be able to shoot myself off. The next option is Autopilot. Now, Autopilot it's not optional anymore. It's actually a standard in all Model 3s. So the Autopilot menu shows you that you can actually have a cruise follow distance, which means the length of cars you'll be away from. Like, for instance, if you're driving 60 miles an hour, you put Autopilot on, and there's a car 2 cars ahead of you, it'll actually slow down until the 3rd car until you reach about a 3rd car measurement, and then it'll start accelerating back to 60. There's speed limit warning, which will, it'll let you know, hey, you're going past the speed limit, relax. You can also put the speed limit relative or absolute. You can offset it by how many miles per hour you want. And you can do forward collision warning, which means that if it senses that an accident might occur, it will alert you. I have that on early because I just want to be as safe as possible. Now you actually have lane departure warning, blind spot collision warning, automatic emergency braking, and obstacle aware acceleration. So that means if there's a car coming at you from behind and it's going at an unreasonably high speed, it'll actually accelerate to where it makes sure that you will not like collide with the car. The next one is navigation. Now navigation shows you, just your navigation options. You can hit to avoid ferries, avoid tolls, and avoid HOV lanes. You can also have the trip planner enabled, as well as online routing. This is also where you can choose if you want the navigation voice on or off. The next option I want to show you is safety and security, which means this is where your Sentry Mode lies if you want to leave the car. Now, if you see here, you have the option to actually power off the car, so you'll turn it off. You can turn on speed limit mode, which means if you're dropping your car off at a valet, that means you can limit your car to go 50 miles an hour, just so you know that they're not like speeding off with your car or anything. There's also Sentry Mode, which means it's like that's kind of like a security system for where if you leave the car and you're away from it, if someone comes within a 2-foot radius of the car and they look at the car, it'll alert them that they're being recorded through this screen, and all the cameras will be like tracking them to make sure they don't vandalize your car. You also have parking assist chimes, which means if you're getting close to a parking spot and you're about to hit a border, it will alert you that you're around 24 inches away, and it'll keep alerting you until you're at least 12 inches. The last one is security alarm, which is just your car alarm. There's nothing really different about that. And finally, there's pin to drive, which is like an extra security measure where if you enable it, a code will pop up on the screen and let you know, hey, you have to put this mode in order for it to actually drive. And that's about it on that. You also have cabin overheat protection, which, make sure that your car doesn't get too hot internally. If it does, the AC will kick on and, cool the car down. And this is also where you can enable or disable mobile access, which you should always keep it on because it is your car. The next one is service. This really shouldn't be for anyone right now. You don't have to change anything in this. This is more for the people doing the maintenance on the car. So I would highly recommend just staying off this unless you want to see the owner's manual. Now the last one, this is actually new. This is the software option, which just came out in the newest update. So if you want to see your car, what version it has, it'll let you know. Like I got the update yesterday and this is what's new in the update. High speed performance, software updates. I got updates to Tesla Tari and on-route battery warm-up. So just all the standard options. Now the last one I want to show you guys on the main MCU are the Easter eggs. The drawing app, which lets you, make a drawing. It's great. The one after that is more cowbell. Then you have the whoopee cushion, which is self-explanatory. Makes a whoopee cushion sound. It's good for like a prank or if you just want a good laugh. You have the Santa mode. You have Mars mode, which actually turns your car into a rover on Mars, so that's pretty cute. Nice little Easter egg. It also turns your car into a starship, a SpaceX starship, which looks really cool. And there's romance mode, so you power this on if you want to be really romantic, with your like significant other. You put this on and it's romance. Very great. The last one I want to show you is Tesla Tari, which allows you to select from these games here. You got 2048, Asteroids, Lunar Lander, Missile Command, Centipede, Super Breakout, Atari Millipede, Tempest, and Gravitar. That's a new one. But yeah, it's you can just play the games and they're fun. So yeah, that's the entire MCU unit. The next thing you notice about the car is the stunning panoramic roof, which is standard on all models. Originally, the standard range was going to have a metal roof, but now it comes with the same beautiful roof that all models come with. It's just so simple. 2 giant slabs of glass, and that's it. It's so minimal, yet so beautiful. Speaking of minimal, the dash is just like that. Since everything is done on the touchscreen, there's no need for a HUD system, so nothing has to be taking up space on that beautiful dashboard. Now, if you're wondering where the hazard lights are because you don't really see any buttons, the hazard lights are actually right here on the center. So when you click this, your standard lights, your hazard lights will come on. The next thing you're going to notice about the car is how nice the interior is. The next thing you're going to notice about the car is how nice the black and white interior is, or the all-black interior, which is what I have. The seats are actually very ergonomic and really comfortable. I've heard rumors that the white interior is actually more comfortable than the black when it comes to cushioning in the seats, but I believe that's more of a myth because the black interior still feels great. Now, both the Standard Range and Standard Range Plus do not come with floor mats, so I do have these aftermarket ones. I will put a link in the description for them if you're interested. They are all weather and they look really nice with the Model 3, as you can see by that diamond pattern on the bottom. So now that we've gotten the interior out of the way, let me show you how this baby drives. So driving this car is an absolute treat. It is a coil-based suspension, which is a, just like what your typical traditional car would have. It does not have air suspension like the Model S does, where the air will actually make sure it'll stabilize the car. This doesn't stabilize as well, but it still feels incredibly smooth. And also, Autopilot is amazing because I can just push it down twice. It enables Autopilot, and now I'm driving without doing anything. You know, the car knows like where the lines are, it stays in line, and it just feels great. You know, it feels very natural. I don't really have to interfere that much with it. I do see there's a red light coming up ahead, so I'm going to disengage Autopilot because it does not read red lights yet. It does not respond to them yet. So that unfortunately sucks. If you have full self-driving, it does recognize them, but it still won't act upon them. And also, look at the glass roof. This is why this car is like one of the most gorgeous cars in the world, because it just looks amazing. Now, as you can see, I have my buddy James here, and what do you think of this car?
I think it's a very nice luxury car for being $40,000 what you pay it for. $40,000 for this car is a very exceptional price for having the really nice touchscreen, the all glass, pretty much all glass roof, the really nice black leather interior, well, vegan leather interior.
It's still leather regardless, just doesn't come from a cow.
And it's pretty cool that it has the charging thing for your phone up front too, which is pretty cool. It has a lot of room for being, I've been saying, the Model 3 kind of looks like a smaller car from the outside, but when you actually step inside of it or actually go down and sit inside of it, it's very comfortable and very roomy for being a, I would say, mid-size car.
Yeah, that's what they classify it as, a mid-size luxury sedan. And you think it fits that name?
Fits that name perfectly. And what always still gets me is when I see you pull up, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, just because of how silent the car is.
It's just how silent the car is, and it freaks out my wife too, and it's really funny. She's like, I don't hear the car, there's no engine. Even when you're driving...
It's good too, because she's going to be driving with us later, so that's going to be nice.
Well, even when you're driving, you don't hear nothing except for maybe the wind. And that's like the outside.
Yeah, basically the wind noise is the only kind of problem with the car as well, because it does have some bad wind noise once you're going above like 50 miles an hour. Now, do you think this Tesla would be like the one that you would get in the future, or are you looking at another different type of Tesla?
I absolutely love the Model 3. The Model 3 is a really nice car, but I'm a guy that loves camping. I love traveling. I love doing road trips. I would personally get the Model Y even over the Model X, because the Model X is really expensive, really nice luxury car, but I don't need such a big sedan. I like the Model Y for being basically a bigger Model 3.
So to wrap this all up, no matter which Model 3 you get, either the Standard Range or the Standard Range Plus, you are getting a tremendous value for your buck. Would I have still gotten the Standard Range Plus back then, or would I have gotten the Standard Range if I knew that the interior was going to stay the same? I probably would have actually picked the Standard Range, because you get the same interior, you get a little bit of an audio downgrade, and you get a software limited battery, which means you can charge it up to 100% and not have any repercussion. I think I would have rather done that, but I didn't know that. I thought this was the only version that I could get for that amount at the time. Do I have any buyer's remorse? No, because this is still truly the greatest car under the sun, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, I want to thank you all for watching my 1 month review. I know it wasn't the best review, but I certainly hope it wasn't the worst. I'll be doing a much better review on my 6 month review and my 1 year review going onward. But anyways, guys, I thank you for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I got some good points out to you. Also, if you guys are interested in picking up a Tesla, they are doing an upgrade on the referral program right now. So they used to have it to where if you bought a Tesla, you would get 1,000 miles of free supercharging. And now, what they're doing for this month only, if you do use my referral code, which I will have in the link in the description below, you get 5,000 miles of free supercharging. That is absolutely insane. You get that and I get that. I also get some entries in to win a Founder Series Model Y monthly, or some entries to win a Roadster quarterly. I don't think I'm ever going to win those because I have the worst luck, but I really would appreciate those free supercharging miles because I am going on that road trip to California next month, and it would just be a tremendous help to me. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Referral links in the description. Every product that I talked about is in the description below, and I just hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Catch you in the next one.